Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's talk about the 80s.
Yes, the 80s.
Me and Daniel were discussing how we used to jump into people's backyards
Jumping
all the time.
fences.
Yeah.
My buddy Jonathan had a trampoline, so you jumped the fence to get to the trampoline, and it was butted against the fence. So when you jumped the fence, there was an area where you could see feet print on the fence, and that's how you knew where the trampoline was. And you jump in there, land on the trampoline, you start jumping, and then Jonathan would come out of his house, and that's how he knew you were there. You'd hear the springs bouncing.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I remember that I was telling you my buddy Joe, Porno Joe, you were talking about, like, I've known him since kindergarten.
Yeah.
And he lived
He's
in
a good man.
the next street over, basically behind the house in front of my house, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, it does.
So I would just go through the house that was owned by the, this old lady or whatever. And then I
just cut through.
I'd jump over her chain link fence. And then in Miami, there was a lot of like coral walls that were built in my neighborhood. They were like 4 foot tall, thick coral walls that separated, like, and then they'd put a chain link fence on top of that. Like,
I've never seen that.
It's weird. It was something they must have done in the 60s or something when they developed
Is it a style? Because we did have my dad, I believe, called it coquina rock.
Yeah, it was a coquina. It was like gray, white coquina rock.
That must have been a style thing because we had a coquina rock installation in our front yard. There was like a cutout, like an oval cutout, and there'd be like a weird coquina there, and then there's plants around it. And then we had a coquina feature in the back. So we had a flat gravel roof Florida house.
Yeah.
And then in the back, we had a coquina wall that was only probably about 4 feet tall, that was like in an L shape, that it was decorative, but there was no fence on the top of it. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a swinger, like it kind of looked porno. It kind of looked very 60s, 70s, 80s.
I kind of want to call a fencing company and have them come out and be like, "Oh, what fence you looking for?" I'm coquina.
I want an old school 4-foot coquina with the chain link on the top.
And then you're like, well, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I want a 4 foot."
Can you still get a coquina?
No, it would be.
I want a grade A Florida coquina.
It would be like $48,000. Like they would have to bring so much. Like in the house that I used to live in Miami, it was. I mean, it must have been 100 linear feet. Like the back fence and the side fence was all the coquina. I mean,
it's seashells. Coquina. How is coquina formed? Thousands of years ago, the tiny coquina clam Donax variabilis lived in the shallow waters of coastal Florida, as they still do today. These are small pink, lavender, yellow, and white shells. I think we call them periwinkles. You see them on the beach at the waterline. As the resident clams die, the shells accumulate in layers year after year after year, century after century, for thousands of years, forming submerged deposits several feet thick that are cut out and used decoratively.
It's all over St. Augustine, and they used to use it in Florida, but now I think there's, you can't get it, or like you'd have to get some sort of recycle, but it would be insanely expensive. But it's funny what we used to use as garbage. Like, I'm sure when they built it, they were like, just get the coquina. It's everywhere out in the ocean. It's free.
Dig up the ocean. Get the coquina.
And then they're like, just stack it. It's like, it's cheaper than brick.
Yeah.
The ocean made it.
Yeah, it's ocean bricks.
But to get people used to. I remember Crystal, her mom's house. They used to build it in the walls as like decorative.
Yeah.
Like near a fireplace or a sunken living room.
Yeah.
Coquina walk wall.
This we have a bowling alley here in Orlando. I think it's called. What's this one down here?
A Loma Bowl.
Is it Loma Bowl?
In the Winter Park?
I don't. The one that we went to that has a sunken coquina bar.
Oh, the old bowling alley
that
went out of business. Yeah.
It's the one here, like closer to downtown, but it has a sunken bar, and the whole bar is made of coquina. We need that bar. It's gorgeous, and it has the big coquina on the top. Like the big brown, and then the bottom is like that yellow brown, like the yellow tan coquina.
Yeah.
And then the seats are inside it. Oh, it's awesome, dude.
Man, it would be cool to have one old school, like, tip of the cap to the 80s room in your house.
Yes.
Where it's all, like, there's coquina sunken living room.
I only make love in my coquina room.
Because old school
Will
Florida,
it come back? I mean, the 90s is back. all kids are wearing like carpenter pants and high-waisted carpenter jeans. And my daughter's wearing these little dresses that Andrea had in the 90s, and like the puka shells and the metal ball necklaces are back.
The problem is, like, all the other stuff we're talking about, like the 70s and 80s, all the other decorative choices are pretty much disgusto or barfo. And then, like, the colors used, and but some of the things, like the coquina style, like, you know how.
Why does beach decor, and I promise you this is not shots fired, why is beach decor considered trashy?
Because it's what trashy people think is fancy.
Because it's a lot of, like, and I know you gravitate to this, and I am not at all, but, like, making fun. But you gravitate to, like, the, plants near the ocean, coquina, sailboat shadow box, America's Cup, like different things that signify it's the ocean, like a vase with decorative seashells, pink seashells in it, filled to the top with shells. What is it? Is it a lamp? No. It's a vase filled with shells. Shell soaps.
Held by some sort of crocheted yarn.
Yes. Macrame is what it's called.
Macrame with wood.
Is it macrame? No, it's craprame. That's what it is. It's bad.
Anyway.
Sorry, I said I wasn't going to make fun, and there I go.
No.
There I go.
Because, I think trashy people think the beach is fancier.
That's
why bums gravitate towards the beach.
My entire family... Like, my entire house growing up was a beach trash land. We had different rooms. My mom hired, I'm glad she's not here. My mom hired I remember how mad my dad was. My mom hired a what do you call those people? A decorator. Like an interior decorator.
Yeah.
This was at a time when the hit television show on TV was about interior decorating. It was called Designing Women. It had Delta Burke on it. It had Annie Potts on it. These are people that old people will remember. My memory is just weird. I remember dumb stuff. Annie Potts, Delta Burke. There's a black guy on there that I forget that guy's name, but he played like the assistant.
Yeah. Isn't it you're just like a bunch of Delta Burke ladies?
Yeah, it's a bunch of old bitches that design, like, they're like, wallpaper, I got to go over and design this, and they're madcap adventures.
And then it seems like it just I mean, it's not racist having the black guy assistant, where it's like for whatever reason, it's racist. I don't know.
Yeah,
sorry, Burke.
Yeah, sorry, Burke. Don't say that.
Delta Burke, she's dead, right?
No. I believe she's alive. She just kind of faded from. She might have some health issues, but she married Major Dad. I forget the guy's name, but Designing Women, Delta Burke married Major Dad, the mustache man.
Oh, he's dead.
No, he's not dead. I think they're all alive.
How are they still alive?
Dixie Carter is her name.
He
passed away. Yeah, he may have died. But Major Dad may have died. But my mom hired this in this interior designer, and my dad was so mad because it was so expensive just for the consultation. What made my dad mad was that everything about it was like he hated it. Like even the lady's name, because she had like a very interior design name. Her name was Poppy.
Okay.
And I remember my dad screaming, interior design, her name's Poppy, goddamn Poppy. Like, I remember how he was like,
waste of money.
$500 just to get in the goddamn door. Like, I remember all of this. He's yelling, he's screaming about it.
He's like, what needs to be decorated?
Yeah, he's like, coquino. He's melting down, just melting.
Back to jumping over fences.
Yes, please.
So, I'm telling you, we're gonna do this bit where we talk to my mom just about like it is funny, like looking back and realizing what we did when we were kids and that it was the norm comparative to now.
Oh yeah.
And as my boys get older, they're now 7 and 8. I'm like, man, I think at this age, I was riding, I don't sound like the dumb old man who played the alarm, but I was riding, 2 miles away from my house, like around my neighborhood. I was allowed to cross like Sunset. And
I rode to downtown DeLand. That's like 4.5 miles away from my house on a bike.
And then
I did all back roads, but yeah, I made it all the way. They didn't even care. They're just like, yeah, go.
I was and maybe I was older, like maybe I was 9 or 10, but it was way before that because my dad died at 10, and this is way before my dad died. Like
interesting marker.
Yeah,
it was.
So I know the marker,
Yeah.
and then but I was friends with my buddy Joe since I was 6. We went to the same elementary school.
Sure.
So it's like I know I was like 6, 7, 8, riding his bike, like my bike to his house, jumping over the neighbor's fences, like jumping fences yard to yard to shortcut going around the street.
Or going in people's gates.
Yeah, go.
You go in anybody's gate.
I cannot even begin to imagine my son's doing this.
Everything's locked up. But when was the time that you noticed that changed? Like I don't even do that now with, like with my neighbors, for instance. Like, like if my neighbors leave their garage up, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't just walk over them, put it down for them. Like I text them. You know what I mean? Like it's like different protocol. Yeah, I remember back in the day, like it was like if you were in the neighborhood, you would be completely okay. Like if you saw your neighbor's gate open, it would be completely conceivable for you to walk in, look around, maybe even now. It'd be okay. You walk in, you look around, make sure everything's okay, shut the gate for him and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, there's less of that though now because people are more, I don't know,
paranoid.
Probably, yeah. I think that's a good word.
And it's funny with the kids thing because like I can't even imagine Max or Tommy jumping fences to get to somewhere else. Maybe when they're older, but it's just like, so cognizant of the rules or like not wanting to, and we're paying attention to them so much as opposed to like when we grew up, your parents just like kept you alive and you just did whatever you wanted as long as you were alive. They're like good parents. Now we're just like so involved in their lives and making sure they have a good time and like what they're learning. And
people don't believe this, or maybe it's like I think I've told this story before and people are like, nah, that didn't happen. I can remember we had neighbors that were there. We had bad neighbors right before we moved out of my first land home that I remember.
Yeah.
We had bad neighbors, and I'll tell you why they were bad. And I think I've told this story before, but these people next door to us would wait till we'd go on vacation. And then we'd get reports when we got back from vacation that they'd use our pool while we were gone.
Yeah,
you can imagine that my dad was like absolutely blowing all gaskets finding that out.
Yeah.
And like there was like there's nothing you could do about it. Like we would hear that like, oh yeah, like we'd get a call in Virginia.
There's no video cameras,
So we'd get a call, we'd be in Virginia visiting like my cousins or my grandma and grandpa, and then I can remember my dad getting a phone call and he's like, "What? They're doing what? They're in the pool. We'll run over there and tell them to get the hell out. Like that kind of thing." And I'm like, what is happening? What? And yeah, like our neighbors would just go down there and use the pool. And then they'd like, and they were real flippant and arrogant about it. Like basically to my dad, they're like, well, you weren't using it and not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that instilled in me like
it's just a hole with water in it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's not bothering you. Look, I can remember hearing that though. And maybe that has a little bit to do with me also being an only child. You're going to naturally be more possessive. You've never had to share.
Yeah.
But like I can remember being like, well, now, we have to lock everything up because people. That was like the first time that I realized that there were people that would like just do things and not care that you don't want them doing it, and basically giving my dad a middle finger like, yeah, what are you going to do about it, old man? You're in Virginia. We're going to swim until you get back.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, let's do some voicemails
already.
But I am going to do that segment with my mom just because I want to like really understand her mindset now. Because it confuses me more now that I have my sons to look at and the way I feel about them doing certain things. And how like independent they are compared to what I was.
Well, see, Andrea's super independent. Like was going to NSYNC concerts out of state at like 16 alone on planes.
Yeah.
So, and we'll talk about this on the Friday Free Show. I have something I want to bring up, but Andrea and I do not agree. I am definitely a little more cautious I think when it comes to Maisie and the things that she's allowed to do, and Andrea's naturally, I think, a little more, lenient.
Well, it's
a little more liberal.
It all, but Andrea is a good kid, so of course you're gonna let her do whatever. She's never gonna, she's not gonna freebase heroin.
Correct.
We don't
not gonna happen.
So it's too responsible. Of course she's, but I was 16. My mom let me drive her Scooby-Doo conversion van up to Disney World with my friends. We rented a hotel.
Yeah.
By lying to them and be like, "Oh, our parents inside. They just said to use this credit card." Like we stayed in a hotel.
I can't believe that works still.
Went to Disney World. I was 16 years old. I just got my driver's license like 6 months before. That's insane. Like I'd never let Tommy or Max do that. Now, maybe Tommy because he's a rules follower, and I'd let Maisie do it now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all dependent on the person.
I think I'd let Tommy and Maisie do it now. Yeah.
Because they follow the rules and because of the people they are. But no one should have let me do it. But maybe I followed the rules more than I thought.
You did.
Because I never got arrested as a kid.
You weren't a bad kid. I mean, you only pushed, you were also logical. It's like, of course you were drinking beers, underage at your house. Your mom knew you weren't doing anything wrong.
Oh, but at 16, we were drinking beers at the hotel.
But that's my point. It's like you weren't
smoking.
But you also weren't drinking and driving, right? Okay, let's switching to voicemails. Oh.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I was just listening to the Monday ACT show, and you guys mentioned the pizza guy that you guys had interviewed way back when, and I believe it was show number 27 that you interviewed him, because I just happened to recently listen to OG show number 65 titled The Pizza Man, and that was on that OG show, and I believe it was show number 23 or 27, but way the hell back there. Thanks, guys.
That's the gentleman I met at the store. He was listening to old shows when we both ended up at my 7-Eleven, and we had a pleasant conversation. If you see me out and you listen to the show, we like it when you say hello. Please do. Yeah, it's fun.
People say, I always get confused by but I think like that with other, if there's ever a podcast, I doubt I'd ever run into any of these people that listen to these gambling podcasts. But you start listening to so long, you start to get to know their personality and stuff. If I saw them out, I would probably think I'm not going to bother them. Even though I would never be bothered by someone coming up and be like, "Hey, listen to the show." I think, I would appreciate it because I was
so kind. He was like, "Hey, man, I've been listening to you for 20 years. Thank you." I was like, "Wow, that's really nice of you to say."
Because how could you think anything other than, "Hey, you help me make a living and feed my family," and you are part of.
I appreciate that. I almost cursed. I appreciate that. I will hug your face.
Yeah. What do you need?
Yeah.
And that's what do you?
I'll buy your coffee.
You want me to come sit down with you in your car?
Yeah. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to sit in the back of your car? You want me to massage your shoulders? What do you need me to do? Help you change the tire? I'll help you. Want me to pump your gas? I will pump your gas.
But so even though I think that, I hesitate to go to anybody else that I recognize because I think I'm bothering them. So I understand, right? Because you're like, I don't want to bother this guy or whatever.
I do that sometimes. Normally with wrestlers around here, because we have a lot of professional wrestlers. If you're not from Orlando, if you're listening out of state or whatever, we have a ton of professional wrestlers that live around here, and I see one a day running around this lake. They're always exercising around here because they all live around here, and to look like that, you have to constantly exercise.
Yeah.
And some of them are very odd looking. There's one in particular where the man is the biggest human I've ever seen, and he runs around the lake with weights on his body. He kind of just lumbers.
Yeah. The old weight vest is a big thing. I see it on TikTok. Everybody's got a weight vest. But it must be weird for wrestlers because, and I was talking to John the Barber about this yesterday. Where I do really and the older I get, the more I'm like, man, I appreciate that I'm in some form of entertainment business in which the people that consume the content are like-minded, and I enjoy being around them because they kind of think and are like myself and you, right?
Yeah,
have the same sense of humor.
Like wrestlers, the people that enjoy them the most are nothing like them.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never thought of that. Oh my God, I've never thought of that.
They're all
God, I'm an idiot.
They're all workout dudes, and
most of them are like driven to a point where it's almost like it's a hindrance to themselves. You know, it's like
they're type A workout dudes.
Yeah, they'll never not go to the gym.
And then now they probably enjoy wrestling like their fans, but their lifestyles and what they're into and there's probably completely different. So
I think you have stumbled upon. Now, football, I would have given football the title of the people that play the game are most the opposite like the people that enjoy the game. I would normally give that to NFL, but I think you may have hit the nail on the head with wrestling because you've got those guys. Well, I don't know. Are wrestlers healthier than NFL players? I would say no.
No, well, yeah, because
wrestling's a lot more about the look and less about the actual
nutrition
and stuff. Because again, what you're doing, there is an element of it's predetermined. I'm not going to say fake. It's certainly not fake, but it is predetermined. That's the difference.
It is an entertainment. It's a show.
Yeah. But you can still get hurt, is my point.
Of course, yeah. You're, it's like
that's interesting. I never thought about that. Big fat guy's holding up signs in the middle of the Amway. I mean, that guy's literally all he eats is pizza and Cheetos.
It's funny that like the wrestling is the same as Jackass in the fact that when you're pushing Bam Margera in a shopping cart and he's jumping out onto a bush or a table or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is doing this on purpose. Like, it's not an accident, but he is hurting himself on purpose, and that's what wrestlers are doing. You know what I'm saying? They are hurting themselves on purpose, so you should appreciate it like that instead of looking at it like, that it's they're not really fighting, even though no one looks at it like that. But it's like a form of Jackass, like, oh my God, this guy jumped and did a front flip and landed on another person. Yeah. Jackass.
You want to keep going here, buddy? Yeah. Let's go. I mean, we're doing voicemails, but this particular voicemail has to do with voicemails.
Hey, what's up, Tom, Dan, and Sam, wherever else you may have there. Question for you, mainly for Dan, actually. I've always been curious about this and how you sort through the voicemails and whatnot. So you've said before that you listen to them all, and I believe it, but I also find it hard to believe because I gotta imagine you get a lot of stupid voicemails, but you find some of those weird ones from those people calling in about their internet or whatever. So I'm assuming, and I believe, that you do listen to all the voicemails.
I listen to like the beginning of all of them, and if I think the person has a good point, then I'll shelve it without finishing it because I still want to be a little surprised at what the person has to say. Sometimes that bites me in the ass, though, and when you see me put my hand up, I go, it's because the person later in the voicemail that I flagged to be used on a corporate time curses, and then I have to look at Sam. She writes down the time code, and then she has to edit it out.
Yeah. Daniel's doing a lot more than any other let's say host of a show would ever do as far as like,
I will actually agree with that.
The engineering and the production side of it.
I'm not just sitting here talking. That's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're changing our camera views. You're editing voicemails. You're sending emails to Sam to read. You're doing a lot of production side of the work as well.
We share it. He continues.
I'm wondering, how much time a day do you spend on that? Are you getting? I can imagine.
Not enough time. I mean, in a perfect world, somebody would curate these and give us transcripts of every single one, like real stations do, where you know exactly what you have, what the person says, what to edit out, which ones to air. There would be like absolutely no accidents whatsoever. All of them would be home runs, and then we do something that I hate, that I'm really trying to get better at. We wouldn't repeat them. I hate it when we repeat them, and it's all my fault. But sometimes I delete them, sometimes I don't. And when I play one that we've already played, I feel like the biggest turd, but we just, we don't have a foolproof system here.
Imagine you probably get a lot of voicemails, but maybe you don't. I really don't know. And then how you curate them to decide which ones you maybe want to play. Is it based off the subject header on the email, or if it's a call-in voicemail, whatnot? Just curious about how you go about deciding what to play or what fits or how much time you actually spend on listening through all the voicemails.
I don't know, maybe 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. We get less than you probably think.
But we also don't not play some because don't want the content. Like Daniel pretty much put them up, all of them.
Yeah,
like,
if it's like, I
even
hate
his negative-
Daniel, I'll be like,
Yeah.
I will write, the subject line will be ACT dash hates Daniel, and then I'll just put it in the file.
So we're not cutting anything
No.
out or like or
Now, if you
only
just make a
playing
fart noise, I probably won't play it.
Yeah,
if you just call in and be like, me and my wife are driving to a baseball game, we just want to say S and fat T's, and I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm probably
that
not
is-
going to save that one.
Yeah. If you just yell out, "We love the show,"
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, we can't go anywhere from that. It's not a question. It's not bringing up a
I'll
topic.
keep your birthday wish in there if you want that. I mean, like, as long as it's not you blatantly cursing, I'll keep it in there. You know, for the most part. I prefer it, though, if you do have a point. And if you want to leave a voicemail, get our app. That's the easiest way to do it. Or call 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. That's 1-844-TOMNDAN.
I like leaving everything in because it's more real. Like even back when I started as a phone screener, I'd never screen out any sort of calls. Like I'd never be like, "I'm sorry, we can't use this." I just put them up there. Now, I didn't care about the show or whatever it is. I just put them all up. But I do think it made it better because you just put everything. You don't, because then you're hearing a real life. From your listeners, what they're feeling, even the bad, the good, it's like if you start only playing what you want, I feel like you're putting yourself in a weird bubble that's not real, and then it gets farther and farther away from the reality.
That's why we played. Now, I did filter out some of the dousing rods, people that disagreed with us that said we were idiots. Like, it wasn't because you disagreed with us. I'll play those all day long. It just got so repetitive to the point where we were like, man, you're not changing our minds and we're not changing your minds. And if they work for you, I'm all for it. If it makes you have a better Monday, that you get out your rods and you're walking around, you're whacking them against your head and you're moving around, you found the pipes, I'm all for it. If it makes it you a good Monday, I'm all for good Mondays.
This is the one it's getting worse as I age because I can't accept it anymore. And I'm becoming a grumpy old man that no one's gonna want to be around me. My wife, my sons.
No, you gotta let it go.
Because she'll say the same thing. Just let them have what they want, and then I'll just say, but it's
not real.
I
know.
There is real and there is not real.
Yeah.
And this goes into the not real category. It is 100% proven. 100%. It is not what you think. It's what is real.
But you don't need to tell them that. You need to treat it. You know what I'm learning? I'm not good at it yet. And I thought you were better at it. But based on what you're saying right now, I may be wrong.
I am.
But what's weird is that you, sir, have taught me that if it is doing no good, I need to move on, right? You've taught me that.
No, I know, yeah.
So it does you no good to tell that person, oh my God, but it's so fake. Why do you believe in something that's fake? At some point, it reaches a point where you're like, this person is dumb, and I just have to walk away and let them enjoy being dumb. But I know that drives you crazy.
It doesn't, because I believe believe whatever the hell you want. Who cares? I don't care. Do whatever you want. It's when they tell me, you're an idiot, this is because then I'm like,
well, that's different. Hold on a second. Okay.
I know, but like you said, dowsing rods.
Then
like,
I am on your side. Then I'm on your side because if they come at us and they go, "You're an idiot," they work. I'm like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Not an idiot. And you can't say, you could say all day long that they work, but you got to add at the end, for me. You got to say for me. But you can't call us an idiot, number one, and you can't say they work for everybody because that's not fair.
Yeah.
You can say they work for me, and then I'll look at it and I'll shake my head and know you're an idiot and we'll move on.
Yeah, it's like crystals. Whatever, whatever. Have a crystal. Have a crystal. I want to rub it. I don't care. It works for you. Great. Don't call me an idiot for
there's no need
saying
for that.
These don't work.
And you have to say, this crystal works for me. And then, okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm just joking.
Well, you don't need to preface that. And just to show you
people
how
get
trashy.
sad, I want to hurt their feelings.
Just to show. Well, here I'll help them. I will help them. You can make fun of me. I'm so white trash that I thought you were talking about Crystal Burgers, when you said crystal. And I was like, yes. And I leaned in a little bit. I was like, yes, steamed bun, pickle, mustard, onion. Yes. I love a good tiny hamburger, man.
There's a lot of salt crystals. Like
I see.
floating around.
Again, I went for hamburgers.
Yeah.
I went for hamburgers.
A friend of mine's parents are into salt crystals, and it's fine. Because they're delightful.
It's the air, right? It's supposed to make the air.
Delightful people, like nicest person in the world. So I'm like,
isn't all salt crystals?
I don't know how, you know.
No, but I think all salt, I think that's it, is salt in its form is a crystal.
This is one of those big orange ones that are
we
lit
light
from the
it.
bottom.
Yeah. My mom had one of those.
Yeah. Then you put your hand for there's energy.
No,
lots
you don't
of
put
energy
your hand on it.
Energy.
No, really? Energy? That's not true. That's not a real thing.
Well, it's like I believe in energy, but
but there's no energy in your salt crystal. For me. You got to say for me.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's try this one.
On the OG show, Tom, you mentioned that you almost missed paying for your tags because it's in your wife's name and you weren't sure why. It's because your wife had better credit than you, Tom. They went and they said, "Oh, we're gonna put her first, and you can just you can tag along, and we'll go ahead and let you."
Incorrect. If you want to know the actual answer from the source and somebody that knows, you need to ask me, Little Danny Denny, keeper of records here at TND Media. The reason it isn't, I thought about this when I got this guy's voicemail. I cannot let people attack you when they're wrong. I will follow you to hell. The reason it's in your wife's name is because you sold her dream car to get your truck. That's why. That's the answer.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it doesn't make you a good person because you sold her dream car, but she got it again later. When you traded in the WRX, you traded in your car for her car. So you guys effectively traded cars for each other. It's like that, the Gift of the Magi. You guys did a really redneck version of Gift of the Magi.
What is weird, well, first of all, sir,
also,
my credit is fine now. I had some indiscretions in the past.
No, it's been like 20 years since you fixed that.
Yeah.
People are still holding you to the Drunky the Bear standard, and I cannot let it stand.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. You're bad at life at the beginning, and then you're slightly less at the end. But I honestly don't know why. And Daniel could be right because we did at the time trade in her Traverse and we bought the Silverado.
It would just make sense to me that they would list her first because she'd be first on it because she was first on the other car.
Yeah, because it was a trade-in or whatever.
I don't know if that's how it works, but I'm just going on path of least resistance. Would typically you're getting rid of this one, you're putting in you're titling a new car.
Yeah.
So they just went with what you were getting rid of.
And at this point, it all is meaningless. What name is one under what? Because we've been together for so long and been married. There is no no matter what happens, splitting it in half unless one of us dies.
Andrea's not like that. She's been asking a lot of weird questions lately, like the SUV's in your name too, and I went and put it in my name, and I'm like, what are you thinking of taking off on me or something? What are you doing?
Well, no, but
I want everything in my name.
It doesn't even matter. It's all half.
No.
The business. Andrea owns.
I want everything in my name.
Andrea and our wives, both our wives, own a quarter of this business.
Andrea is my wife.
Well, I'm saying, they own legally a quarter of TND Media, legally. When
did this happen?
And it happens because you guys are married.
Nobody told me this. Well, no, wait a minute. What happened?
You should have signed a prenup.
Done anything with this.
You should have signed a prenup.
When's the last time they've done a 2-wife crew? Boy, that dried up. Good job, ladies.
Well, that's not how it works. They just own it. They don't have to do nothing. my wife hinders my job.
I own what she does. I own what she does.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. But
I don't know what my wife does.
Well, she doesn't own a company of super successful.
Hot talk.
Yeah. I mean,
did you see the picture?
Flamethrower.
Are we going to talk about the picture I sent you this morning? Did you even get that my daughter saw from?
No.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem. Andrea doesn't even know about that.
I thought you couldn't post that on Instagram.
I don't think so. It's on there.
It's a Tommy Ling. Lings.
Tommy Ling. Oh, it's a Tommy Ling. You can't say that. You're being racist.
Tommy Lee's dong.
It's Tommy Lee's ding dong. He was getting in a bathtub and he took a selfie and he put it on Instagram. And I'm scrolling through and Maisie said, "What are you looking at?" She's like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Yeah, oh my God. You don't look like my daddy."
Well, I was about to say, it's so different than what she's seen. She may not even know what it is.
Like, look like an alien.
Like it's another appendage that he has. Because it's not.
Oh, okay. Other people in the chat room saw it. Okay, so I wasn't the only. I was going to say this for Friday Free Show, but we'll talk. So I open Instagram and Tommy Lee, drummer of Motley Crue, is getting in the bath with his ding dong out on Instagram, and it's got 40,000 likes. Like, it's been up for, all night, and no one has done it. Not that, I don't care. I just don't want to have to explain. Now I have to explain to Maisie. She didn't really say much about it. She may already know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what she looks at on the internet. I don't know.
I wonder if the technology, the AI, the scan, didn't recognize
because it's too big. It's too. It's even AI was like, "This is glorious. Leave it up."
You know how sometimes photos on social will get tagged if you're a dude and you have bigger boobs, right?
I want to see if it's still up.
Sometimes it'll get tagged for nudity if you have woman-like boobs
because it looks like a butt.
Because it just doesn't. No, because they think it's boobs. And they're like, no, and they don't, for some reason, it can't pick up that it's a guy.
It's down now.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's down now, and then he put up another picture of an elephant, and it just says, "How do you breathe with that thing?"
It's weird that we all know that Tommy Lee has that, right? In the 90s when the Pam and Tommy video came out, everybody saw it. I saw the picture. You said it to me. I got it.
He also shaves it down. He bics it like you do.
Yeah.
So you're like Tom. You're the Tommy Lee of Orlando.
But
oh my God, you're Tom. You're Tommy Chi Chisholm. Tommy Chi.
Everybody knows this already about him, and he still feels compelled to show it off. It's weird to me. It's everybody knows. You calm down.
Well,
we know.
There's another person we know that likes to show it off locally.
So, Tyreek Hill doesn't have to race everywhere he goes to show how fast he is. We've seen it.
But the penis.
We know how fast you are.
But the penis is such a defining entity. It's nature's exclamation mark. There's something else. If you can do math the best, if you're the best chess player, if you're Tyreek Hill, if you're Michael Phelps, if you're Chuck Yeager, you're the best jet pilot, you're doing that's an old reference. But I'm just, all of that is great. But a guy with a big ding dong, I'm like, better than all that. It's just he wins.
But why does he still feel compelled to keep showing it off?
It's always got.
It is always got. I saw him on Ridiculousness the other day.
Oh, man. Tattoos don't age well. Good thing I'm never getting tattooed.
He's fine. I mean, he still looks like a rock star, but
you melt.
You turn into an old man, so you get an old man face that's been weathered a little bit.
You can't do anything with an old man face.
But it's in that picture, young man's ding dong. It doesn't weather. It doesn't.
His body. Now, I will say he has a young man's body.
Yeah, the tattoos. Yeah.
Looks like he takes care of himself. Like he's lean and he doesn't have a lot of sag.
Yeah,
he's always been a skinny guy, and skinny guys always have the big ones. That's just facts, y'all. That's just facts. One more. We got time for one more. This one's kind of weird.
Hey, Tom, Dan, and Sam. This is Ryan from Jacksonville. Do you think it's weird to marry someone that has the same first name as your sibling? I have a friend who married someone who has the same first name as his sister. And so when they post on social media, it comes up as basically his sister's name, right? Because first and last name are exactly the same now. And it creeps me out every single time because they're talking about going on vacation and anniversaries, and it just weirds me out. And I don't think I could marry someone that has the same name as a sibling of mine. What do you think?
Well, I'm in the clear because I'm an only child, so it doesn't apply to me. Would you have had an issue marrying your wife, Crystal, had she been named Jennifer?
No, that's absurd.
But you're so logical that you'd be like, yes, it's not the Jennifer that is my sister. That's what an insane person would say.
Yes, well, yeah. If a person's name is the what keeps you from marrying them because it's the name of your sister, that makes you insane. Because if that, like, everything else is good. I love this person. I'm attracted to her. She's, everything, but her name is like my sister's name, so no. Like, I'm not going to break up with her. That's stupid.
I thought this was going down one of those rabbit holes where it's like we were paternal twins, separated at birth. I met her later. She's my age, and then we fell in love. You know those stories where it's like the guy fell in love with his own twin, or like those things are terrifying. Like, God, I don't want that. That's such a complicated problem to have.
But also names, like, you come to know the person, you call them by this name, but it's more about all of what you know about them, and then it little to do with what you actually call them. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I've known people that marry a person that has this, like, they're a Smith, and they're marrying another Smith, so their name doesn't change.
Yeah.
That's weird too. It's kind of what you're talking about, just a different version, right?
Yeah, because it all morphs into like who
or
cares
if you don't want to take the last name, like there are some people that don't want to take their husband's last name, not because that they're that type of person. There are women that are like, I'm never taking my husband's name. I'm more progressive than that. I like my name. Whatever works for you. But there are people that don't take their husband's name because their husband has an unfortunate last name. And I think those are funny.
Yeah.
When they're like, I'm not taking the last name Greenus. I don't want to be Sally Greenus because it rhymes with penis.
It's funny with tradition because I hate tradition so much because it's just you do it for no reason. I hate doing things for no reason.
I know you do.
But
that's why you hate when I tell you God bless you.
Yeah. I never.
But
say
I do
bless
it
you.
every time.
I know my wife doesn't do it. She can't stop.
I do it for her. I do it for her.
But it is a bizarre tradition that we have here where the lady takes the man's last name and then changes her last name. And
you should take the name that has more value. And I know this is going to hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
But if it's a wealthy name, right? So if the lady is, let's say she's a Rockefeller and you're marrying her, you should take that name because that's the name that's going to help you out.
No, you're right.
That's just logic. If your last name is Dylan because you're related to Bob Dylan, which, Jacob Dylan is related to his dad, he didn't take that name. When he first started in rock and roll, he hid his name because he was afraid that people would know he was Bob Dylan's son. I would want everyone to know I'm Bob Dylan's son. It's blanking Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Like if you
knock down some doors for me, Daddy.
If you married a Kennedy, you just like if you're the guy, you'd be like, I want to be a Kennedy.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem with that is then all the family is going to be looking down on you. And
that's fine. I don't care what they think. I care what the public thinks. And as far as the public thinks, I'm a Kennedy.
And that's the thing
Flying
too.
around in jets.
It's a bizarre tradition that we do. Although if I personally didn't do it, I'd always feel like people around me were like that this is not the case. It is ridiculous, but that I'm somehow less of a man because my wife didn't change her name, which I make fun of the Wizard about because the Wizard and his wife, they never changed their name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah.
Oh, he's a weak man.
But but he's too Asperger's.
Oh, I'm going to use that. I'm going to file that for when he says something unpleasant to me. I'll be like, well, I'm not weak like you.
He can't be hurt. He's too Asperger's to hurt his feelings, so you can't get him like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It wouldn't matter what I say. I have no recourse. Damn it.
You can't hurt someone who has no feelings. So
God,
there's no pleasure in it.
No.
There's no good about getting them about
it. It doesn't hurt them, and even if it did, you'd get no pleasure out of it because it can't hurt them.
He wouldn't even understand why that's a funny joke, saying he's less of a man because his wife didn't take his last name. He'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, he did it.
Resistance
it's like
futile.
Bullying a computer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway. Oh, we got another one?
No.
Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha is with her husband. I hope you recover quickly, sir. Thank you for your service.
Don't say it like that. He's getting a vasectomy.
He's getting a vasectomy.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, that's thank you for your service. That fits.
It's fine. I didn't even put ice down there when I got mine. I went to the mall, right?
We went to the mall. What, did you have to get your ears pierced? What the hell are you doing?
Crystal.
Were you going to pierce a pagoda? Were you going to Hot Topic?
She's like, I want to stop by the mall.
Yeah, I want to look and see if they have some new Steve Madden shoes.
And then she's like, are you sure I'm like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll get a pretzel.
Yeah. And then it was like a little. I never put ice. I never did the. Oh, I am. Be a man, huh?
Pain tolerance is different, so maybe it didn't hurt you as much. Like my C-section hurted 10 times more than my friends. I feel like it did. Because I was laying down way more. But they also pushed me right out of the hospital because I had COVID during my birth of my child.
Really?
Yeah, they put me in the COVID wing, and they wanted me out of the hospital within 24 hours, and I had a C-section.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I was throwing up like crazy because they overdrugged me with the epidural. It was real messed up.
I just had an epidural.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then so I was like puking the whole time, and my stitches were like...
You were puking your stitches out. Oh, my God.
They were like not checking on me because we were the COVID
Don't
couple.
check on her. She has COVID.
It was really messed up. So I was out of the hospital within like 24 hours, and it was really
And then you
bad.
were just all beat up and having to fend with COVID and a newborn with your barf and your stitches out.
But the worst part is taking care of a 2-year-old at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the baby, that's one thing.
Yeah, 2-year-old is a
but
different
the 2-year-old,
story.
he weighs 40 pounds, so it's like, well, no, he weighs 20 pounds.
And they have opinions and they do
they're heavy.
things. Yeah.
Good for you for getting the C-section because
Yeah.
I told Crystal to get it.
Sounds like COVID section.
Hey, because her real man, Uncle Doctor, one time told us years ago, before we even thinking about having kids, he pulled me aside. It was at like a family wedding or something.
Come here for a second.
And then he's like, when you have
level
kids,
with you.
He's like, just get the C-section. It's easier on everybody. Believe me. I've seen it before.
Cut it up and pull the
And then
baby out
Crystal's
on that
like,
golf by
it's
5.
unnatural. I want to have it the natural
Well,
way.
then both of
And
our
I'm like,
wives, correct me if I'm wrong, but I...
Which one? Did your wives both go natural?
What he just did was the most horrifying depiction of childbirth I have ever seen in my life. I was stunned in my tracks.
Did your wives both go natural?
No, my wife won.
Yeah.
His wife, and my wife.
good for her.
I'm gonna bust their balls. My wife and your
No,
wife.
don't act like it's a medal of honor.
Okay, but mine wasn't by choice. The second one was by choice. The first one,
Yours is
it
more.
was like
yours
an
is like
emergency.
the
It was
draft.
crazy.
Yours is like the draft. I got drafted. But thank you for your service. Our wives had both decided they're like, we're gonna do it all natural. No epidural here. We can do it.
Oh,
And
they did it natural.
And then
natural.
they grew they tried. They grew their bushes out and did all the things. And then they get there on the table, and then they're like, oh God, it's give me the epidural, please, give it. Ouchie, ouchie.
See, I can't handle pain. I would have asked for the epidural like within 5 minutes, but mine was an emergency. They put the little things on his heart, and he wasn't breathing. So they were like, within 3 minutes, the doctor on call comes in the room, and she's like, oh, you need to have a C-section right now. And I was like, what? Like, I had just gotten there. It was crazy.
What?
And my doctor was in the elevator on her way up, and the doctor on call at the hospital gave me my C-section within 3 minutes of me getting there.
Wanted to do. He's like, she's in the elevator. I'll do it.
It was a girl, but okay.
Oh, okay. Most of them are girls. Yeah, I had a girl.
Yeah, both mine were girls.
Yeah, I had a very hot Spanish lady with big boobies.
When you went there, did you know you had COVID, or did they test you? You're like, you have COVID now. You're like, oh God, damn
That's
it!
exactly what happened.
And did you feel
Yeah.
bad? Because they always say they're like, if a mother smokes crack, her baby comes out addicted to crack. And it's like, well, I have COVID. Is my baby's had COVID?
Well, you had to get tested like 24 hours before. So I went and got tested at the hospital, but they were supposed to call me. Well, they didn't call me, so I figured I didn't have it. So when I got there and we're all checking in, they go, oh, by the way, did you know that you tested positive? And I was like, oh God. So I just started bawling my eyes off because it was a freaking third time I had
too
it.
much.
I've had COVID 3 times.
Oh my God. You get the hell out of here. No,
I had it twice.
I feel like I should be immune by
I've
now.
only had it one time.
Oh, loser.
It's a 1, 2, 3.
Once.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely gave it to Daniel because I had COVID and we were doing a show, and then I told him I was like, "Oh, I have COVID."
He said like that too. Oh, I had COVID.
And then Daniel never got it. Anyway,
never
it's fine.
got it.
It's fine, it's fine, we're fine.
And we sit on the same toilet seat.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're just having some light locker room talk. It's no big deal. So let's talk about you living in Florida now.
Yes,
because,
so I moved back after 1 decade.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Doll face back again.
It's
Yeah.
crazy that it's been 10 years that you lived out.
Isn't that weird?
It's hard to believe.
I know
Oh
it's
my
what old
God.
people say, but it's like, man,
you're
it
growing like a weed.
it did go by
That
fast.
went by quick, man.
Yeah. It went by super
So,
quick.
It
10
did.
years. That was 1 decade ago
Yeah.
that I left.
I
crazy.
remember we were doing some Tiffany's leaving show at the Abbey.
Yes.
And then you and I
Oh,
were
yeah, you
there.
were the host.
Yeah,
You did horrible.
we didn't need to be there.
Yeah, you did really bad that time.
We did really bad.
I have no recollection
It
of
was
that.
bad.
Why do I not remember that? Oh my God, I have dementia.
I think you guys were drunk. I don't know.
Yeah, we were.
Well,
we
definitely
were
drunk.
We were drunk. We were drunk.
The Tiffany leaving show at the Abbey, we were
Yeah.
hosting it?
Yeah.
What did we do? What did we do?
We got up there like, hey.
You like announced me or
Thank
whatever.
you guys so much for coming out. If you want to donate, there's a thing, and they were taking I think some donations to get them on the road.
Yeah.
And they're
Okay.
heading out to California.
Oh, wait,
and,
hold on. I kind of remember
and
that
we
now, yeah.
introduced them. We went up there and we did a little light crowd work that was
To
horrifying.
be honest, I don't know if you were there. I feel like it might have just been Dave.
No, he was there.
I
He
didn't
was
know
there.
that.
You know why I know he
Remember
was
me?
there?
How dare you?
You know why I know he was there is because he was wearing his oversized dress shirt. Whenever he has any type of hosting gig, he'll wear jeans and an oversized dress shirt. And no matter what, it makes him look like he's going to the movies at the mall or something. Like you look like you're going to court.
Yeah,
Like acid wash jeans and a monochrome gray sleeves are too long dress
I
shirt.
put on the classic Chandler Bing. The braided belt.
Yeah. What's weird
Boat
is
shoes.
Yeah, he has on it's like a big billowy gray dress shirt underneath gold chain. I'm like, oh God.
You don't have the gold chain on anymore.
Nah, I know.
You did
It
for
broke.
years
It
back
broke.
then.
It broke because he was at a strip club one night and a stripper
No.
pulled it off his neck.
I know. Now it's 2 golden bracelets that
Yeah,
I
you
made
need-
for my boys. Then I took a little bit and made
Oh, that's
Yeah, they wear them all the time. too.
I wanted to talk crap, but that's pretty cute.
They don't wear it,
it's
and they'll
only-
never wear it.
it's only-
Who's gonna wear a gold?
I
big-
like that he made his sons 2 greasy Italian gold bracelets. Like they're ever gonna be. Hey, you remember when Dad got us our bracelets? Hey, Stugas, yeah.
Well, no, because I took a chunk of it and then made a ring for Crystal, and then there was not enough to make a back.
Excuse me,
So I made 2
Redneck Man.
bracelets.
What do you want to make out of the rest of your bracelet? You've already made a ring for your wife, Redneck Man. What do you want to make? Let's make my son's 2 ankle bracelets and call it a day.
They don't wear it. It's in the safe
Then why'd you
next to my
make
guns.
it? If they don't wear their ankle bracelets, then
don't
why
know.
did you make both of your sons 2 gold herringbone?
Are they big?
I was at Goldsmith, and the guy's like, "What do you want to do with the rest of your necklace?" And then
Well,
I
let's
was like,
make my wife a belly charm. Make her a belly charm. What the hell's wrong with you?
"No, I was like,
Why do you
let's
do
make
it?
2 bracelets. It's not
Yeah,
enough
but
for a whole necklace."
Nobody gets their son. Nobody in the last 10 years has bought their young sons bracelets. No one's done that.
I gotta agree with
It's not a thing.
Well, I didn't buy it. It was my old necklace.
I know, but nobody does
Why
that.
is this so funny to me? Oh my
Because
God.
it's a weird thing that
Because
it's like,
a lot of people melt it down and
Yeah.
make it something else. I don't know.
You just cut it and
like
they'll
a
put a
ring.
clasp on it. They'll love these
Well,
bracelets.
you're gonna pay to make it into something else. Make the
Just two tie it
bracelets.
together.
You just
I'm
put
gonna make my son's 2 mafia pinky rings.
you put the clasps. It's cheaper. You just put the clasps on 2 of the sections. A bracelet.
I'm impressed you could say clasps.
Why are you making fun of me? You just got back.
That was meaner than anything I said.
So,
Oh, that's funny.
oh,
Okay.
let's talk about boats. Because
Immediately into boats.
because I saw in California, and
Oh, the chat room's really happy you're back in
Oh,
town.
I love
Yeah.
them.
And I saw that I knew that you were missing Florida because you're like, I'm going to get myself a bow rider, 18-foot ski boat.
Yeah.
19 and a half.
19 and a half. And,
Hell yeah.
And then it's funny because I see the pictures of your boating day.
Yeah, you guys go hard, man. Sun
yeah.
up to sun down.
Yeah.
with your
we don't
son.
play.
But what's weird to me is that I'm like, it looks like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's like
it looks beautiful. I
Canyon
think.
boating is so much weirder to me.
Yeah.
Like we
Tommy
go on
Lee. Tommy Lee Canyon boats.
we go on the river.
You know
and
we're
it's-
like related to Tommy Lee?
you're related to Tommy Lee.
Through marriage, yeah, technically.
Can you text
What
him
the-
please and ask him why he put his penis on Instagram? And
I
my
heard
daughter's
about that.
I have it on my phone because I'm scrolling Instagram. The first thing I see, I'm eating a Bay's English muffin, and my daughter says Tommy Lee's shaved ween.
Yeah, he's my sister-in-law's uncle. Through marriage, but
That's
still,
crazy.
like, we've hung out with him like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, did you watch that Tom and Pammy the Tommy and Pam documentary thing, the Netflix special or
No,
whatever. with Hulu?
I've only seen the video.
He just types in Tommy and Pamela documentary nude.
Yeah, well, they mentioned her, my sister-in-law, in the video, like on the first. The first 5 minutes of the movie. It was pretty cool. To,
really?
Like, see like people that I know and
That's
stuff.
neat.
Yeah.
So when you hung out with him, is it like just a regular old rock star guy?
Yeah,
You know, like,
exactly.
Pretty cool
I mean,
guy.
He was cool.
Yeah,
he was.
he seems cool.
He was smoking and drinking and doing shots and smoking weed, and this was like, I want to say like 7 years ago, but it was weird because he didn't like go to his own niece's wedding, and he only has like 2 nieces, so it's kind of like weird. Like he's not very family oriented, and she's kind of like, it's weird that my uncle like never wants to hang out with us. He's like more about like his girlfriend and her family and all that.
Whoa, he's a rock star.
Yeah.
I don't blame
Okay,
him.
but he doesn't want to hang out with his one sister that like lives in, you know.
He wants to put pictures
Bang
of his dog.
20-year-olds, yeah.
Like,
Okay, you're right. I guess.
True. It's
But
like-
I
you-
like
you-
it. I don't
you
want
never turn into a family man ever.
I don't think you
I
do.
like that. Yeah.
I don't
Like,
think you
stay
do.
in your lane, Tommy Lee.
Okay, well,
It
to each
would be
their own.
it would be weird if he's
I don't
out
want him going-
front. Okay, he's out front of her house posting a picture of his dog on the internet, and then he walks in. He's like, "I'm here." He's like, "Tommy's here."
I mean, I guess you just stick with what you do.
I heard Baby Groot is out on Disney Plus. Like, I don't want that. I want Tommy Lee to be dong and
20
party.
banging. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I like
Dare I
stereotyping.
My bad. I expect people to change. I don't know. All my friends have like grown up.
I
and
know.
Had kids now, so it's
Dare I say that Tiffany is now certainly more family oriented than you.
oh, you think so?
Well, I mean, she's the one.
No, she still
arguing
goes
that
out
she
and
wants
parties with
Tommy
her
Lee.
friends.
No, she goes out
I see it.
occasionally and has a girl night.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not like
I don't
she's
do
like,
that.
to watch my kids, I gotta rage.
Every night I'm just playing with my sons, and then last night we're playing. We go from Battleship, then we play chess, then we play.
This
we're
sounds
wrestling.
like garbage. Battleship and chess. Oh my god.
And,
I mean, at least they're not addicted to the phone.
I guess,
No,
but,
they are.
but if you're playing
Yeah,
Battleship
yeah.
and chess, look, if your idea as a kid is fun playing Battleship and chess
No.
with your dad, you're going to get beat up in school. You are going to get so beat up.
They're still
I
addicted.
mean, they'll be probably over that by the time they're like 8.
No, they're still addicted to the phones. Now we have to limit it
force
to
them.
an hour. Now the school's back. We're like 1 hour a day, and the Crow is diligent about that.
Yeah.
If it was me, like I'm just be like phone. Like when they're on their phones, they just dead quiet.
You can play Battleship on the phone. You don't even have to be in the room with them.
Well,
You
let
can
me ask you this opinion because I have been kind of like anti-phone, like tablet and everything.
Yeah.
And my son never plays on the phone. He
That's great.
doesn't have a tablet, none of that stuff. And so I've kind of been sticking with that, thinking that's the better way. But then one of my friends was like, "Oh, they make kids learn how to do tablets
do.
now."
Yeah.
So am I holding him back by not doing the tablets?
Here's now, okay, this is my logical thought about it, really, because I've thought about this a lot, right? So, in one aspect, their future is going to be tablets and computers and knowing how to navigate that. So,
Yeah.
that'll be beneficial to them. The problem is, what my sons like the most is they like YouTube and they'll
YouTube is garbage.
and they'll
I hate
like
it.
and like in video games, but like the video games that are open source, Roblox that have no ending. There's no
Roblox
like,
is pretty cool.
but there's no like actual
It's creative. It's
goals.
digital building blocks. You
It's
know?
not like what we grew up with, where like Mario got to the end and
A
saved
level,
the princess.
yeah. There's no levels, but anyway. So what the problem for me is like food or anything else. I am like skeptical of why they like it too much. Like they're like,
well, it's like garbage in, garbage out, right?
yeah, it's like why do you like candy? Because it tastes good, and we want our bodies crave sugar because of how we evolved, and like so we crave sugar even though sugar is bad for us in a bunch of amounts. But when we evolved in the jungles and in the nature, the sugar was few and far
talking
between.
tablets.
Anyway,
not jungle sugar.
but I'm saying, so
sugar.
we've got to limit our sugar intake because it's bad for us, and that's how I look at like YouTube and stuff. I look at like that sugar, and I should limit that because they want it too much, and they, it's. I don't know, but it
what
seems
it's gonna do, but yeah, no. I'm
it
with
seems
you.
like you want it too much, so therefore I'm going to limit it. Just like you want candies all the time,
Yeah.
I'm going to limit that. It's like I just limit the things that seem like are sugar garbage
like
to your
what
brain.
they're craving. You gotta.
But what
cut
I
back on
found-
the phones.
I don't know though.
I've also found though that more freedom, at least in my case with May, is that when I give her more freedom, so if I give her more pad, she doesn't want it. So, like, I'll give her the iPad on Wednesdays. She can have as much as she wants on Wednesdays and as much as she wants on Sundays. This is your old rule, and we just always stuck with it. We don't do it daily anymore.
So it's 2 days a week. That's
yeah,
when
it's
you
2 days a
allow.
week, but she gets Wednesdays and Sundays, right, as much as she wants. But I notice on Wednesdays, she'll fire it up in the morning and watch a little bit. But if she gets to crafting or drawing or doing something else, she'll forget that she even has one and won't do it.
Gotcha.
And,
Yeah, my son hasn't asked or
Everybody's
like
different.
even wanted it, but I noticed my 6-month-old girl, she's trying to grab the phone already, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
is this a girl thing? I don't
Could
know.
be, yeah.
It's all subjective. It's different,
Yeah,
for, every
different for
kid.
every kid.
So everybody's got to look at their kid and decide what's good for them. Because like
Gotcha.
same thing with Tommy seems to be like he'll get done with the
You
the
said he'll just
screens
put
and
it
like,
away.
and move on. And then Max is he will be locked in into it like it's like you want
I'm a
to
lock-in.
It's like,
if
calm
I'm on
down,
video
bro.
games, yeah.
Say, it looks like you're an addict.
Oh, I'm like that. I'm like
Okay.
Max. You put me in front of the Xbox and you hand me and say like, "Hey, you have to play this baseball game," and I'll play it until I die. Until Andrea comes over and is like, "Hey, dinner's ready. You might want," and then I have to physically tell myself, "You're good," and step away from it.
See,
So
I heard
feel
that's
it.
what TikTok does to people.
Not
so
to me as much, but I think you like it. You
Well-
can see the addiction right there. You see it.
Yeah, because it's an endless scroll of what's next.
See, I haven't gotten on TikTok. I feel like it's like for kids. no
It's
offense.
garbage.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, but it's
It's probably good because you guys have a show that needs to be,
Well,
promoted.
it's fine. It's just like I'm not. It's not. I don't think it's for me, so it doesn't suck me in.
all my
Gotcha.
TikTok is Nitro Circus
Yeah.
and fantasy football and gambling because
Mine's all drag cars,
and then
just cars going fast.
a
That's it.
lot of girls in bikinis. They
Yeah,
have
I have
giant,
that too.
and there's mom
I wasn't
bod.
going to tell you that part because I don't want you to know that about me. But yeah,
But
a
it-
lot of moms.
I'm
a lot
not
of
even
hot
searching.
moms.
I'm not even searching for it, but it's just like if you look at it too long and it's an algorithm.
Yeah, it
and
knows.
It's like,
Oh, he paused
likes-
on this longer.
He
Keep
likes
giving him that.
bikinis.
Yeah, I saw a
And
documentary on how that works.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's back to boating.
Back to boating.
Yeah,
So
you got 3 minutes. We got to take a break.
Oh,
Just,
okay.
you know.
all right. So, did you bring your boat?
I did.
All right.
Yes,
Okay. So, yeah.
boat
Yep.
race.
So I wanted. We went out on the boat one time or twice now, and we didn't really know like where to take it. So we were like not in the channels or whatever.
all right.
I was like driving it willy nilly.
Wait a
We're like
minute, that's
stuck in the
Tom's style.
sand.
That's what we do when we go on your boat.
Stuck at the sand.
Yeah, we got like stuck in the sand probably like 40 times.
We were
that's
crossing.
fine.
like
that's
so
fine.
confused. Where's a channel?
We took a boat out and we were crossing certain areas, and this is like the last time I think when I went on your new boat. This is like 2 years ago, the
Yeah,
new
yeah.
boat. And he's like, I don't really know where we're supposed to cross here, but we're going fast enough that if we do run aground, we'll just rock it over the sand. And I'm like, that's fine.
Isn't that like really bad for your boat?
I mean, it's some sand.
You know, like, it's like Diet Mountain Dew. Is it really bad for you to have to drink 9 gallons of it a day?
Yeah. You'd have to run aground every day,
Every day.
time you went out.
Okay,
you
well,
know.
I don't feel so bad because it was only 40 times a week.
40
fine,
times
yeah.
a week.
Yeah. And it's all is a sand, is a coral will get you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
get
wasn't
you good.
coral
Yeah,
yet, but
then you
I need to know where to go. I need some
They
like
need to-
boat places.
I
They
will
need to
show
knock all
you.
that coral out of there. Get that
Yeah.
stuff out of there.
Dredge it out.
Yeah, it's bad for the boat.
Yeah.
You knock that stuff out of there.
The
Get rid of the
manatees.
manatee.
Yeah, and all
All
these
of it.
animals, they slow us down. The
Yeah.
animals get on the land where animals belong.
Oh my God, there's more no wake zones than ever.
Yeah, I was feeling that.
Like I'm becoming the old man that I'm like. I remember when there wasn't a no wake zone here. It's garbage. Like I'm bitching to people about like this used to be
Drive fast zone.
25 miles an hour. Anyway, so we do have a plan of boating days. Okay, you ever been to Bird Island in Cocoa Beach?
I have not.
Oh yeah, there's
Or
that.
maybe I have and I don't know because I went somewhere on 4th of July and we parked and it was really fun. And there was a bunch of people, definitely a lot of Trump supporters out there.
No, that's a boat
Was
thing.
it Bird
Yeah,
Island?
That's a boat thing.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll find a lot of that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
harmless. It's fun.
We'll give you we've got a blue BDM flag that from far
Very
away
similar,
you can't
very
tell
similar.
there's a
You
trophy
can't
flag,
tell.
so people are like, oh, I like
Yeah,
that.
they're like, I think
It's
that's
got
cool.
the line.
But sometimes they see the B and they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, BDM.
I'll do a BDM one. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
I don't know.
Not a good idea.
No, it would be fine. I think I'm a little worried about you taking Tiff out.
what do you mean?
God, the last time we went out, remember that?
Yeah, every time this guy does anything with you, it's usually
forgot
some
about that.
sort of something falls apart.
I forgot.
We've only hung out like outside of radio maybe like 5 or 6 times, like in like the full day like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's got to be my favorite memory.
I-
that swinger boat.
Oh,
You were there?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that other boat time. I took
No.
we broke down underneath the
Oh
bridge.
yeah.
There was that time.
Wasn't that the same time?
But no, you're
No,
talking
that
about
was a
the
different time.
You're talking about the time
That-
we went on the swinger boat, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
the guy and the girl, the guy and his wife, and the other husband and the other wife got
yeah.
in the jacuzzi.
It was a how. It was a 80-foot or a 40-foot long.
huge.
like, did you guys know what we were getting into?
No.
Oh, I never know
No,
what I'm
I went
every
to,
day I come to work.
They said, "Come inside. We have a bedroom that has an Xbox and a TV mounted in it." I went in there and I'm like, "Wow, this is living." I was like, "This
yeah.
is great." They had marble countertops and real tile, and I was looking at it, and they're like, "Look at this!" They're taking me on a tour. I come back on the top deck, the jacuzzi there, and then the 2 girls and their moms. They're like older moms, and they're
Yeah.
like. They're doing the they're eating each other's boobs.
We say older moms, they're our age
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, we were in our 20s.
Well, imagine
Yeah.
Tiffany and Crystal, or excuse me, Tiffany, Crystal, and Andrea all in, and they're all
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Yeah,
touching
like-
each other, having an orgy.
Yeah, well,
It's
that-
too much.
And you guys invite some like 18, 20-year-olds over.
That's
Hold
what
on
they
a second. This sounds like
That's
something
the
I would
only-
want to do.
Well, I think that was the only way I got an invite because I'm like, hey, I think I get Tiffany to come. And then,
Oh my God, I was probably like 22.
Did you know you were being used as bait?
No, I didn't. I was
I'm
like,
joking.
oh,
you
we're
were
gonna
being
get.
used
I'm
in this
jo-
pervert's
I'm
planned
joking.
swing.
I'm so oblivious to everything. I like
You say that,
It
but
was
I think
radio
you know
day-
exactly what you're doing.
all the radio listeners wanted to party with Drunky the Bear.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd give it to him. I'd be like, I'll
give him
show
the straight drunk. I'll give him 100%.
Yeah. And I'm sure bringing Tiffany and the wives, like, like,
Why? You'll bring our wives.
well, it was a
my
swinger
wife.
boat. It was a
My
swinger boat.
my wife just found out she had a vagina last year.
Yeah, but it was we
She
were
called it
all
a Lily until she was 30.
we're all like in our late 20s, early 30s, and I remember.
Hold on, you get
I mean, I was in my early
He always
20s.
gets a dry mouth when he's lying.
I was like 22, I think. Imagine hanging out with a 22-year-old like right now. That'd be like us hanging out with a 22-year-old, and we're all hooking up and wanting them to hook up, and they don't even know. They're just here for the slide. I mean,
Oh, Tiffany,
That's how I
Tiffany,
felt.
I'm just here for the slide.
Tiffany,
that's what I was here there for.
you remember Seth, right?
Yes.
Okay, he comes on our show, but basically every other week on
Yeah.
our Friday
Yeah,
show.
he's
right?
in rotation for news for sure.
Dude, he's got a 22-year-old girlfriend and hangs out with the only
Yeah.
22-year-old.
He puts her in lingerie and ties her up and puts her in the closet.
He's old. He's
Did he
got
get married?
No,
don't talk about it. Don't talk about
Okay,
it.
my bad.
There's
my
a
bad.
new one. There's
Yeah.
a new one.
Okay, that's good. 22 though. for real.
22,
Yeah,
and then
And how old is he? He's our
He's
age.
41.
he's 42.
42?
Yeah,
He does have a big boat though, right?
Oh, he's got more than a big
rich.
boat. I'll tell you that. He's a Tommy Lee scenario.
Yeah. He's rich, and but
he
he's,
throws his money around, a lot of investments.
But I say the same thing. Because I often now I've come around.
You need to throw
back,
your money around
I've come
more.
around back to who can because I used to say the thing like, all right, I'm 40 years old. Like you said, imagine hanging out with a 22-year-old like it's we've have different experiences. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. It seems like too young. But then I've
Why
talked my
doesn't- it doesn't have to be weird,
Where it's
though.
like, what do I mean, it's not like talking to my wife right now is a great pleasure in my life.
You're right. You guys just sit and
Who
scroll,
cares?
right?
Who cares if we have anything in common? It's 22.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I'll
Let her
learn the
teach
stu-
her- let
I'll
her
learn
teach her
it, yeah.
something, yes.
I'll learn about TikTok. I'll be interested in it. My wife, what she tells me
Yeah.
is not interesting to me at all. So it's like,
Touche.
so who
Seth is
cares?
onto something.
Yeah,
He
my
might
wife's
have
like, I ordered my desk in Tampa. I'm on my way to IKEA now. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. So it's like, what do you have that,
you're
or
right.
you're listening, or you're finding out some new TikTok trend?
Yeah.
Just like,
Oh my
who
God,
cares?
Pete Davidson and Kim, they broke up. And I'd be like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Anyway, so you're living on the coast now, Tiffany, and
At the beach every day, a lot.
like once a week, maybe twice.
Nice.
Not even one stop sign away. It's like
Yeah,
5
that's
houses.
so great.
So.
Not,
That's awesome.
not
I'm
to
excited.
talk ass about California beaches, but I will say I'll put Florida beaches against California beaches all day. And the reason why, and I understand,
We have more pythons. We have more parrots.
well, the only
we have more jean shorts.
the only cool thing about some California beaches are like the dunes and they have cliffs and stuff. Like that's pretty cool. But other than that, the water's too cold to swim in. all the time.
You need a wetsuit.
And then there's like algae. There's different. The beach is not as nice, so it's like
you can't even drink on the beach there.
Yeah, you can't
Like,
even smoke
why would you
cigarettes.
even go?
Like you can't even smoke cigarettes.
Now
or
that
drink.
I agree with. Every beach you should be allowed to drink on.
That's why you go to the beach.
Well,
you go
you're-
to the beach to get in the water and drink. I don't
Yeah.
know. I party at the beach. Like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? I mean,
You're
I play with my
supposed-
kids too, but I'm always drinking.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to look at you're at the edge of the earth, and your reward for standing at an earth edge is a beverage.
And like
Yeah, yeah.
relaxing, on your day off on a weekend, and like you can't even drink. It's
Yeah.
weird to me. And no, you cannot even compare
Now,
the beaches.
I go a lot
Florida
further
beaches,
than most people because
110.
I like driving on the beach, all the oil.
yeah,
Spilling.
yeah.
I like people laying out and people getting run over. Like I'm laying out and some truck just drives over me.
Yeah,
I support all of that.
Yeah, they don't even let you throw a football on the beach. One time I brought my dog to the beach.
Hold on, in
You
California.
cannot throw a football on the beach. You cannot throw anything on the beach. The lifeguard will stop you. I'm going to go a step further. You cannot have a flotation device in the water.
What?
I went out there with a
No
tube.
floats?
The lifeguard stopped me and said, you cannot have a flotation device in the water. I had my dog there. They said, put the dog, you have to drive the dog
You have
home.
to kill your dog on the beach.
Or go to the dog beach. There's a specific dog beach. So I literally
Wait,
couldn't
were
drink,
you
couldn't
standing
go
with
in
your
the water.
gun and your husband with his gun?
This is insane. This is insane. I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why I moved back was I could not go from a state with so many freedoms,
So many rules,
to
yeah.
absolutely so many rules that like it like builds an anxiety in you and you don't even want to do anything. So I would just sit at home because everything was too much of a pain in the ass to do, and it made me depressed. So that's why I came back. Like that's a huge reason. So when you
Interesting.
compare the beaches, that's like a really like sticking point for me.
I've heard like Corolla always yell about not being able to smoke cigarettes on the beach, and I thought that was ridiculous. But I didn't know you couldn't throw a football.
I've
Could
never
you
heard
throw
that.
a frisbee?
You can't throw anything. No, you can't.
You cannot throw a
I've
rope.
never even seen
America's
corn.
It is America's frisbee, the aerobi, and it goes so much further than a standard frisbee.
I've never seen
What?
it.
And it's harmless. It's got. I believe me. I think I'm correct on this. I think it has a rubber edge for safety. The aerobi.
I grew up being able to do anything at the beach.
I
Like,
know. You
dig-
used to be able to, but they outlawed it all.
I'll dig a 10-foot hole and kill myself by
Yeah.
accident.
I have
And
done-
that's Florida.
I have done so many bad things at the beach.
You can
Yeah.
set off fireworks at
Yes.
the beach. You know.
I used to dig a hole, bury a keg, and stand with my head on the sand and do a keg stand that way. I was in college, high school.
Yes.
Do you know, like my buddy lives in Satellite Beach now, and you're allowed to have bonfires on the beach. Now they specify you have to get like a permit.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's a little. I'm sure there's some Florida guy screaming about how you have to get a permit nowadays. But
Yeah,
But if you
could
wanted
do-
to go
what-
down there with your family and have a bonfire and eat
Yeah.
like Christmas Eve dinner or something, it would be really fun. You can totally do
We're
it.
gonna do it when it gets cooler, but they dig out. We've seen people do it. They dig out pits so that the wind doesn't put your fire out, and then
Yeah.
they'll put the fire lower.
And you bring your chairs.
and then
yeah.
you can still do bonfires on the beach.
I mean,
Like, you
there
can do
is-
whatever you want.
There is a place, I want to say, like Manhattan Beach, or oh god, there is a beach that was like an hour and a half from my house, and they had the fire pits that you could actually use, but they were also packed, so you had to get there at like 4:00 in the afternoon, claim your pit if you're gonna have like a party at night.
Gotcha, but no
Everything's so
frisbees.
packed. No frisbees though, but you can have a fire at one beach, yeah.
Why no
can burn your
flotation
frisbees,
device? Because it seems like that would be safer.
I know.
Why
you
would-
would think.
Like, you would think the
no.
rule would be you
I don't
can't
know.
get in without a life jacket if they wanted safety. That seems like they're just
can't,
taking
like-
away fun.
I know you can't go in with your raft, maybe because like it would go over somebody's head, and then they can't see like somebody drowning. I don't know why.
I know that now. I know that in Miami they don't let you at certain festivals bring rafts on the beach because people leave them in
Oh,
its
yeah,
trash.
yeah.
So it could be
okay,
a trash.
Well,
it
they
might
do-
be a trash thing.
Because I know that because I've
that's-
seen that.
but that's
always like 100,000 people
Yes.
one day, and they're like, of course it's trash.
They'll do
Like a regatta or
yeah,
something.
Float Villa, South Beach, 2001, and then 10,000 people will leave their Chinese garbage trash. on
Yeah,
the-
they do that in Laughlin, Nevada. It's kind of by Vegas, and
Yeah.
they float down the Colorado River. It's really cool. My band used to play it every year, but there would be thousands of rafts, and so they outlawed that. Now they
Yeah.
don't even do it because everybody left too much trash.
I bet it's that. I bet it's because the rafts get left there because it's so cheap to make the rafts that California's just like, nah, dog.
Yeah, but-
we got too much garbage as it is.
But here's-
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying that's probably what they did.
It is probably that, but here's why I'm mad at that, because this isn't Float Villa 2009. This is Tiffany with her kids, and she wants to just have a
Gotta have a
inner
full permit.
tube.
Gotta have a permit.
And it's like
This is before I had kids. I would never even bring my kids to the beach out there. Just it's pointless
Too much
because you're
of a
not going to get in the
hassle, right?
water.
Yeah.
I mean, what is he going to do? Dig in the sand? I'll get him a sandbox. Like,
Yeah.
What's
Because,
the point?
again, the water is freezing.
Yeah,
They-
it's so
Exactly.
cold.
a lot of people don't realize, like, California water is freezing.
If you go in the water, you have the head to toe wetsuit. That's like what the surfers are
Yeah.
wearing.
And so right now, man, we got warm. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's hot,
dude.
though.
If you go on the Gulf side, like I was,
You can boil an egg in it.
I was in Naples, and
It's not even refreshing.
I got down in it, and I was like,
not.
I was like, oh, we're gonna die. Because I was
Yeah.
like, the ocean water should not be this warm.
It's like
And
a-
it was like boiling.
Yeah. Oh, it's like
It was a
a
hot
I've never
tub.
been on that.
It was colder. I was running into it because it was too cold on the beach. Because
the
I was
only place
wet.
you, it's the only place you
It's like
go.
a giant hot tub.
Only
Yeah,
place you
yeah.
go to cool down, you throw sand on yourself. Oh God.
But
You
e-
gotta
but
cool
e-
down.
but even on the East Coast and stuff, the water you can swim in it. It's
Yeah.
nice. I mean, what is it? What's the water temp? Look up water temp.
Probably at least 80.
Yeah, it's like 81.
Yeah.
You know, it's like resort pools are 82. So it's like
No, it's
they-
definitely warm. Right by my house. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm right by that Sherry Down area in Cape Canaveral. That's like my closest like public beach, and it's got to be 81.
June
right there.
85, July 87, August
Oh, geez.
87, September 86. It starts to go back down.
Okay, well, it's 87.
I mean, that's like-
colder than I keep my, or that's warmer than I keep my pool when I heat it. Like 87,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
ugh,
it's
it's too
87.
hot.
87 right now,
No,
and
I
it'll.
like it. I like it. That
Yeah,
much.
I know.
Yeah.
You just get in, you're like,
You don't want to get out.
I don't like it a little too warm. When it's a little too warm, it feels swampy to me.
No, yeah.
I don't like the swampiness of it.
Same thing with pools and stuff. You don't want to get in a super warm pool.
Well, I do it first. I like it, and then I pee, and then I get out.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, right? You get in the warm pool, you pee, and then you
My
get out.
son still thinks he has to get out of the pool for that. So
That's a good
it's
boy.
pretty cool.
That's a good boy.
He's like, Mom, I have to go. And then I'm like, oh, we can go right here outside.
That's great. Maisie will look at me, and then she'll go, I'm peeing. Like she says it like a psycho, like would be over you killing you. She's like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm killing you.
My sons are straight trash.
Yeah.
And they'll
Yeah,
be like,
my
I have
son
to
doesn't
pee.
know yet.
They'll be dancing. I'll be like, go in the yard. And they'll be jump in the pool. I'm like, get out. No. And they're like, I'm going. And I can't stop them. And then I'm like, oh, you're disgusting. And I'm like, and then I do it.
Mostly water.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
But theirs, they pee like yellow. And
Well, they're dehydrated.
They,
Highlight or
ask,
green.
they don't drink that much water. And they
gotta-
hold it like camels. And they ask me, they're like, Dad, why is your pee white? I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be. I've been drinking all day.
brown.
Let's talk about your sister's bar. The Slide In Coco.
Yes, Coco. Well, it's technically Cape Canaveral. But
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
don't
sorry,
make that
sorry.
mistake.
yeah,
You're gonna get a lot of
Coco
emails.
Beach is a big difference.
I
So
know.
they get
everyone
mad.
talks about that.
They're
like, we're not on
Cape
the beach.
Canaveral.
Yeah, Slide In Cape Canaveral. That's my sister's bar.
I saw that you were, because I wondered, I saw that you were doing like a welcome home party and you put it on social.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, it's funny how, because we never got out of the whole thing, right? So
Yeah.
like you,
What
We
are you
went
talking
from this to that. Yeah.
yeah, so
What are you talking about? Corona? Or
No,
you're
no,
talking
no.
about radio?
well, the radio and this time
Broadcasting?
of broadcasting.
Yeah,
right?
we're one trick ponies.
So I was gonna ask you because I saw you post like I'm doing a welcome home party at Slide In, my sister's bar. It's actually on our hookups page if you want to know any information about it.
It's a great little bar, man. Really
so,
fun little bar.
I was gonna ask you like, hey, we could promote it, but then I didn't want you to feel. This is how much I overthink. I didn't want
Oh,
you to
Jesus.
feel like because you were gonna
Like,
be like
you owed us anything.
Oh no
right?
no! I didn't want you to be like no, thank you, because you didn't want a bunch of strangers coming that you had
no,
to talk
no,
to.
that was the opposite.
You know-
No,
Yeah,
that
they
would have
didn't-
been cool if you guys would have promoted it.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
I
Why
was
she
going to
want
offer.
Why would you want her sister's bar's event to be successful?
No,
Tom?
because
yeah,
no,
you're an idiot.
No, because then
kidding.
sometimes you.
I
stir-
see what he's saying.
you
No, I see where you're
Listen,
coming
you
from.
stir up the creatures, and then
No,
now
I'm not the
and-
creatures.
and
And
then
next thing you know, we've whipped
Super
5
Mario.
of the most annoying regulars you've ever seen. Now, like
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
Mario shows up and he's like, "Yeah, Papa, this is my new bar. I beer every day."
I
And we're
know
like,
what
"Oh
you're
my
talking
God,
about.
what have we done?"
So like if I
It's
whip,
like you can't seal up where the Demogorgons come from. You're trying to seal the tree up.
Like, is this her friends?
And the
Who does she
Gorgons,
want?
Gorgons are just coming
and
like
like, oh,
crazy.
it's snowing out. You got me. And then next thing you know, a bunch of people are like, and then you're like, why does that guy have a camera?
A corpse of Barb in
I
the
should
corner.
have just asked you guys to promote it, because honestly, we are that good of friends, and it wouldn't have been like I'm using you or you're, you know what I'm saying? So I should.
We love your sister too. She's awesome, and
Yeah, I
her
should've
bar
asked.
it's a rad bar.
And
I love it.
We're gonna do an event there.
Yeah,
We're all like,
I'm
we're
excited
gonna come
about
up with
that.
something and do something out there at Tiffany's sister's bar because the last time we were out there was
I think my baby shower.
Baby shower, yeah.
And and the Miller Lights were a going for Danny. Oh,
That was a super fun baby shower, though.
What's
That's
that?
the way to do a baby shower.
Oh, at a bar?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That is absolutely the way to do it. That was so fun. And everybody had a good time.
remember
Guys,
I was-
girl, everybody.
I was playing old man darts with Jimmy,
Yeah.
and that was the last time I played darts. Like, literally the last time.
With Jimmy?
Yeah.
I
At
can't-
Tiffany's baby shower.
I can't think of anything I'd rather do.
Well, anyway, we're glad that you're back.
So glad to be back. So glad to be back. You have no idea.
And
What are you doing now?
So I'm not doing anything. I'm a mom, but I need to find something to do soon because I'm running through that bank account real
All
quick.
right.
So
well, let's throw it out there.
Well,
Anybody, because I know they're hiring out there. That's what I see.
I mean, we don't want.
I've gotten offers for like 7-Eleven clerk.
No,
God,
no, that's
no offense
ridiculous.
to anybody that does that.
No, definitely not. But
I mean,
I
Now
just
they
because
know if you're
the economy's
if you
kind
work
of
at 7-Eleven, you know.
Yeah. What about okay? What
you
about
know? You're like, yep, this is.
what about Porky's Barbecue?
no,
What about
No, you don't need that.
Tiffany rides again, pogo stick.
no,
You
no,
know,
no,
like,
no.
why do you bring that up?
You know what? I'll
I
end with
almost
this.
cursed. We're on we're on corporate time,
Yeah,
right?
it was either going to be him or me.
We are in okay because as I get more and more into
Yeah.
this, I feel my sleeves
just-
about to blow off.
Yeah, I just jumped in the chase with this guy now.
But we are doing our BDM beach party.
Yes.
and we used to hire camel girls.
Our
through a modeling
original
agency.
camel girl, the original and authentic from my core, the original camel girl for the hit video series Trombone.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that was actually on TV.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
am the OG.
The
What's
other
the
one never
reason
made
why
it.
you
the
were the
other
right-
one never made it. The other one was a hacky second version.
And by the way, sign up to be a BDM if you want to invite. We're sending them out soon for all BDMs for our beach party. But this is the reason we started doing this because of Tiffany. And I joked around. I'm like, we're gonna get Tiffany on the show. I'm gonna ask her how much money would it take
Oh, geez.
for you to take pictures in the
she's
camel
in the
match
job
one time.
market now too.
But okay, this is what okay, tell me if I'm right because I started doing the math and I was like, honestly, because
5 Gs?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Tiffany would be like, I do
We
her
should go in business
$5,000
together. We should go in
because
business
because
together.
it's not worth.
Oh,
like also Tiffany has made a lot of money in your edibles business,
Yeah.
and like
Well,
you know,
she's a good businesswoman. Yeah.
yeah. It's not some.
Are
you
you
know,
are you just kicking this around?
I'm
or you
joking
actually,
around.
okay.
No, it'd be too much money.
Honestly, I don't even know.
It'd be-
I have like 2 kids now.
I know.
I think it'd be weird, man.
It would be weird.
Well,
It would be-
may I suggest you hold your kids?
No. We
with
never
the-
do it.
No,
but
we would
I'm
never
saying
do it.
if it was just a hypothetical amount
Okay.
of money,
Purely
I thought $5,000 would be.
What about no kids? If you didn't have kids,
cash, like $5,000 cash would be like. All right, I put on the mask. You know, I go do it.
Man, for $5,000, I try to get Andrea to do it. I get anybody to do it. $5,000, give me some of that money.
Okay, if I didn't have kids,
Yeah.
I put on the mask.
Yeah.
Had them 37. I still had see if I didn't have kids, because then I'd still be skinny like I was.
Oh,
Come on,
God.
No, but skinny. I'd have a
I
better-
wasn't gonna say how hard. Like I was gonna say how you look now is so different.
Yeah.
Well,
You look exactly the same.
I need 10 pounds to fit in my jeans still, but
What?
Honestly,
Yeah.
Tiffany, you look exactly
you
the same.
look exactly
well,
the
thank
same.
you, but
You look amazing.
So
I'm
if
gonna-
I didn't have kids and I'd still be skinny, I was gonna say 3, but if you want to go 5,
He always goes high. He always goes high.
Moving closer. Tiffany,
but I have kids and it's weird now. I
Yeah,
don't
it is
know.
weird now.
if someone wants to reach out,
It's even weird when we ask and then we try to play it off like it's a joke.
if someone is hiring, listen. Tiffany knows the marijuana business. Great, like she's
I
great.
know
at
a
anything,
lot
yeah.
about marijuana.
Well,
if
you would-
anybody have a job with creating cannabis, edibles,
You
or
need a
tinctures,
career
bombs,
in that.
like anything like that. That's what I was doing in LA for 5 years. I'm actually not using my looks or personality. I'm using my brain to make a living, so it's really cool. And I would prefer doing that, but if we got to hire me for other things, that's fine.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I think the people that use both are rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
are.
I'll use my brain, my personality, and my looks. And then we'll be
That's
good.
how they get rich.
Yeah.
That's how people get rich.
They use it all. You got to use it all.
And how can they email you? Just throw it out there.
Well, my email is hi@thehelloplace. So hi@thehelloplace.
The Hello Place.
Yeah, that's my brand in LA. I still run it like from here, but when you're far away, it's not as easy to run it like you would, and I want to be in Florida, so I need a job here.
Can
so.
people purchase those edibles though if they want to? Does that help you at all?
Yeah, they can in California.
Okay, no, I'm just saying if they're
Yeah.
there,
Yeah,
maybe
they're
every
in
little bit
California.
helps. Especially.
No, I know you have some people out there, and
Yeah.
actually they would go in the store.
I've had
They're
those
great.
edibles before, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, I
so
got some
if you're in
here.
need,
Yeah.
I mean, those are the ones you should get.
Well, Tiffany, we'll talk to you again soon.
Yep. Thanks for coming in. We love you, and
Thank
we're glad
you.
you're
This was so
home.
fun.
And I can't wait to meet. the daughter, the baby.
I know,
I've
she's
met
so
the
cool.
little boy. I've met Crixus. He is Maisie loves him because he's just so. He's
Yeah.
When was the last time we
He's so
had
cute.
dinner? How long ago was that?
At
He was
Chewy's.
only 6 months old.
Yeah.
Or he was 8 months old, so that was pretty much 2 years ago.
That was a long time ago because
Crazy.
he's like
He'll be 3 next month.
Insane.
Yeah.
that is insane.
God.
But I'll bring them to the beach party so you can meet them.
What?
All right.
All right.
So we'll see you Monday.
Yes, sir.